small mistake can have a very big cost here in Formula E.
It's back. It's the opening race of the 2019-20 season of the ABB FIA Formula E Championship, the SAUDIA Diriyah E-Prix. Brendon Hartley, former Formula One racer and world endurance champion.
Brendon's been on a pretty long journey. You know, he's been racing in junior single-seaters, he's raced in endurance racing.
This is so completely different from anything else I've driven that I think it's fair to call myself a rookie.
I think coming to Formula E, after his experience in Formula One, he's coming to something that will challenge even him, because he's won Le Mans, he's won the World Endurance Championship, and as we're seeing, he's more than capable of doing well in the Formula E Championship.
For sure I have some nervous energy. If I didn't have a bit of nervous energy, I think there would be an issue, you know, and I would be asking myself why I'm here.
It's a critical point of his career. You know, he's done Formula One, he's been enormously successful in endurance racing and at Le Mans, and has shown his skill and his speed. But coming to Formula E, which I think strength in depth is the most competitive in global motorsport.
I don't know yet how unrealistic it is to think if we can arrive the first race and stand on the podium.
This is a baptism of fire in Formula E really for Brendon Hartley.
FP1 was going okay up until about 15 minutes to go.
He's gone up the inside of the Mahindra. Oh.
I hit the wall, turn 4. Then it's my mistake, it was the same track for everyone. Unfortunately, that really put us on the back foot and compromised the whole day. It was a very tough start to my Formula E career. What it meant was we actually didn't have any laps in FP2, so obviously track was evolving. I didn't have any laps on the 235 or 250 power level. So going into qualifying, I was discovering the track for the first time with 250 kilowatts.
Brendon Hartley had minimal laps this morning, had a fairly sizable brush with it, had a brake issue, had all kinds of things going wrong. So this is, not only is he a rookie, but this is really new to him.
Actually, I thought I did an okay job with all things considering in qualifying, obviously not FP1 when I crashed the car. The real test, I would say, is the first race this weekend.
Oh, Muller's hit the wall. So here comes Collado, just a lock up into the barrier.
Offline. He was offline.
And Muller has just done the same, basically, I think.
Brendon, just for info, Nico will not be making the start of the race.
Sorry to hear that, guys. I'll do my best.
31 days since Season 5 ended on the streets of New York City with the 2019 SAUDIA Diriyah E-Prix. As we have Sims on pole, Van Dorn alongside him on the front row, and the first race of Season 6 of ABB FIA Formula E about to get going. We go green in Diriyah.
So then in the race we started P18 and it didn't go to plan. We didn't have the pace. A lot of it I think we've understood now, and we found a few little issues on the car, and actually it all stems back to the crash in FP1. So you can basically stem everything back to this one crash in FP1 and the downward spiral went from there.
Here they come towards the final corner at turn 21. No movement there. So it's Bird through the final corner to win the first race of Season 6.
We knew that the rookies would struggle. And if you're then a rookie in a team that isn't a front runner, that doesn't have factory facilities, where you've come in relatively late, it's an incredibly difficult ask. And because it is a very tight championship, you need to come out of the box and be competitive. So there's huge amounts of pressure on their shoulders.
The second qualifying session of the 2019-20 ABB FIA Formula E Championship is about to get underway.
I have to say I didn't sleep that well last night after yesterday's race. We were clearly very slow, we were dropping back. It all started and stemmed from having a crash in FP1, missing FP2, damage on the car. But the good thing was, after a long debrief last night, car on the setup patch, we figured we had a few things not right with the car. So we hoped today that the pace was going to be better.
The pressure of qualifying is absolutely immense. There's actually all kinds of procedural things that they have to do during those laps. They're not allowed to hold up other drivers on their fast or slow laps. They're not. It's actually quite crowded for qualifying. Formula E tracks are tight in the first place and they're quite short. And when you go out in groups of 6, that's actually still quite a lot of cars going at full qualifying pace and trying to find a gap.
Qualifying is tough in Formula E. You get one opportunity, you get one lap. I made a mistake in the first sector. I touched the wall, I bent the steering.
Brendon Hartley, this will be his mistake in the first sector. Whoa.
Look how wide he is, Jack. I mean, that's... Hartley got off...
Hartley is sliding around.
Yeah, offline. Brendon Hartley, 24-7 first split. Oh.
Buemi, oh, that's horrible from Hartley. That's a second and a half away. What is going on with the Dragon car? His middle sector is better than his first sector, but it's still only 17th.
I kept pushing, even with the bent steering, and actually, like you said, Sector 2 and Sector 3 were on the money. I think the car definitely should have been in the top 10, maybe even super poles. It was a good recovery from that point of view, but still we had to start 19th on the grid.
As we get ready for the second race of the season.
I couldn't see the lights. The grid slanting downhill. The car in front was directly where the lights were. So I had to wait for the cars around me to move, and then I went.
Been a bit of a mess because I couldn't see the lights on the start. Yeah, copy.
I tried to go around the outside of Oliver Rowland. He pushed me a bit wide. Okay, fair enough. Maybe I was a bit optimistic trying to pass around the outside. I think that's when Collado got in front. Then, a couple of laps later, I made a mistake. Turn 18. Annoyingly, I locked the front brakes. I got passed by 2 cars. Yeah, it's an absolute jungle out there.
His car is broken. The championship leader is out. And we are on board with Brendon Hartley, having had Gianni get through. It sounds like Hartley ran wide at 18. You can see the New Zealand flag.
And then, yeah, okay, I made the mistake. The car's quick, I'm much quicker than the cars in front, but...
Yep, full.
I'll switch for 36.
Yep, safety cars deployed.
At the end, there was 2-3 safety cars that brought everything back together. Didn't really go our way. I don't know the final result. There's a lot of penalties. I got passed under the safety car.
What a race we're having. This is some Formula E action at its best, isn't it? Bit of nonsense and entertainment.
Bit of shenanigans.
And wheel-to-wheel racing.
They're working through it. The FIA, there's many penalties ahead. Okay, we are a little bit more energy than cars around, but not much. 1% ahead of Yanni, 1% more than Yanni.
Safety car in.
I had great pace in the race. I could see I was quicker than the cars around. I took the attack zone. I made some good overtakes. I got back past Neil. I was really in the thick of it.
Alexander Sims victorious for BMW. What a race! What a drive!
Checkered flag. And box this lap. There's P14 on the road, and I believe there are some cars ahead that have penalties still.
I think Brendon did a good job this weekend. He has scored his first points by default of some disqualifications and some penalties. And the fact that Brendon actually had a difficult first day and then came back and finished the race, and because it's very psychologically hard having a tough first day and knowing that you're essentially going into exactly the same thing. There's nothing you can do about this. There's no update, there's no aerodynamic change that you can put onto that car to try and fix it. It's a huge ask for a rookie, and psychologically to just get on it and be completely on it every session when they're so close together is very difficult. So you do have to build up that mental endurance, and I mean, Brendon has had the experience to do that.
Yeah, having the capacity to be racing wheel to wheel between the walls and give all that feedback to the engineers and think about what you can improve on the steering wheel or the steering wheel settings to improve the lap time, that's tough. It takes time to get the most out of that. I mean, you also rely on the engineers to help you, but what's quite specific in Formula E is they have almost no telemetry. So they don't know what's happening in the car. They don't get any data, which is unlike any other series that I've driven in the last 10 years.
On paper, it should be all about brawn. It should be about street fighting. It should be about, you know, pushing your way through, making the bold moves, and it is a part of that. But the other part is the cerebral part as well. You've got to be intelligent. You've got to be quick-witted. You've got to think on your feet or in your seat when you're racing, because there are so many different things that can happen during 45 minutes.
Brendon has not had a straightforward career. We know he's a good driver, but you know, he's been dropped a few times. He's had to hold his nerve. That will help him enormously within Formula E. Most people who can come to Formula E and can kind of stand the heat have to have had quite a slap in the face at some point, and be able to sort of take that and recover from it. Unofficially, we know he's still a Porsche driver. They haven't kicked him out of the fold completely. You know, Andre Lotterer was officially not a Porsche driver a couple of seasons ago, you know, and now he is. So were they right to give Andre the seat instead of him? Yeah, probably. But Neil, well, I mean, they have this season to prove themselves, and actually him and Neil has finished behind him. I think Neil is a very good driver as well. But yeah, there is going to be a sense of, if not schadenfreude, then certainly that's an open competition, I would say.
There's a lot of little lessons that I can take out of this weekend, you know, a lot of things that we can work together as a team, a lot of things I'll take into the next round. The worst thing for me is I have to wait another couple of months before I get to jump back in the car.